do you sometimes feel like your life is on cruise control and you are kind of just waking up, taking the kids to school, going to work, coming home, cooking dinner, doing it all over again and again and again? And sometimes we can kind of get caught up in the chaos of our lives, which I think is normal. I'm not saying it's bad, but sometimes we forget that we still have an opportunity to make some of these dreams come true. So in 2019, I decided, okay, January of this year, I decided that I was going to make one of my dreams come true, and that is to write a book. And I kind of thought I had this little secret, right? I kept this dream to myself and no one knew about it. So I went and told one of my friends, hey, I think this is it. 2019, I'm writing it down. I think I'm going to write a book. And she said, oh yeah, I remember she was pregnant with her daughter. Her daughter's almost 10. She goes, yeah, I remember you told me that. And I was like, time has passed, right? Sometimes we have these dreams or these goals, like I want to travel to Italy, or I want to write a book, or I want to volunteer more, whatever that, or I want to be debt free. And we forget about the dream, right? Because we're living life. And I know I was on cruise control and I was just raising kids and I was forgetting about that dream that I had to write a book. Right? So I kind of just had it in the back of my mind. And I know if you're watching this, you probably have dreams on the back of your mind or that you've shelved, right? And you're just kind of waiting for the right time. Let me tell you, there will never be a right time. There will never be a right time unless you make the time, okay? Because one of the things that I always tell my clients is that you better claim your time or somebody else will, right? Because you're not just going to have free time. You're not. You are going to have, that time is going to be taken over by something else. So what I want to share with you is 3 things I did this year specifically that really were a game changer in making my dreams come true, okay? So the first one is really assess, right, the year. Taking time to look at like what worked. What were some things that I'm proud of? What was some things that I really, got some success in? And for me, I just want to share with you that I wrote my book. I wrote my book. And the only reason why I was able to do that is because I wrote it down at the beginning of the year and I made a commitment. But I'm really proud of that. And I'm excited because I'm going into 2020 with some confidence that I could do hard things. Okay. So ask yourself, what are you proud of? What did you work out this year? Maybe you stayed on plan with your diet. Maybe you were able to pay a credit card off. Maybe you traveled somewhere where you always wanted to do. Maybe it was on your bucket list, right? And so look at that and see, okay, how did I do that, right? And kind of take some time to assess, evaluate, okay? So that's the first step, is really looking back and taking an assessment of your successes, okay? Now, the second step that is critical, okay, is evaluate your barriers, okay? So what were some things that really got in the way, that did not work for you this year? And I'll be honest, for me, it was my weight gain. I really struggled with my weight this year specifically, and I know it was out of my control because I was exercising, I was eating healthy, and so I realized that there was something else going wrong with my body, right? And so I recently actually had some blood work and we have some answers, and I'm hoping that 2020 will be the year that could be turned around. But I had to really take some time to evaluate, right? Like, what was not working for me from this year? And I realized that I had even done a program with a health coach. I did a workout program. I did some food stuff, and nothing was getting me the results. So it would be silly of me to continue doing the same thing and getting no results, right? So I had to get some help. I went in, got some blood work, and I think I'm pretty excited about what's gonna come. Hopefully we can get this under control. So take some time to ask yourself, what didn't work? What did I struggle with? okay? And take some time to see, like, maybe, you also had goals of losing weight and you didn't. So maybe it's time to go to a doctor, or maybe it's time to actually go to the gym, or maybe, taking a nutrition class, or maybe, if you didn't get debt free, what was it? Were you spending too much on what? Maybe now you have to do some meal planning so you don't eat out a lot. So just taking the time to evaluate what didn't work for you this year, okay? So that's the second thing that is very crucial. The third one, and this is the exciting one, is that if we want next year, okay, 2020 to be different, right? We have to set our intention. We gotta create a plan, right? Like, what do we want for 2020? What is it? What does it look like? Because you don't just get in the car, right, when you're going somewhere and have no destination. I mean, at least most normal people don't, right? We know when we're going. We're gonna go to Target. We're gonna go out of town. We're gonna take highway, 380. Like, we know where we're going. So if you do not take the time right now to set your intentions and have a clear plan for 2020, and I'm not talking about those little steps, right? I'm just talking about the vision, okay? Then what happens is that we're just on cruise control, right? We are just on cruise control and we're just surviving in the chaos of life. I know I did it for years, and I'm not gonna say that it's completely unhappy, right? Because I feel like I was pretty satisfied, but I was not living in my dreams, right? I was just surviving. And I feel like these last 2 years, I've really taken my life and I am thriving. I'm loving that I can still make some dreams come true, and because I'm still alive, right? Like, it's never too late to make your dreams come true. And I know I've learned that, but it started with that intention, okay? So when we're setting intentions, one of the things that I wanted to show you that I love doing, and you probably have heard about this, is a vision board. Now, some of you might never have heard of the vision board, so I wanted to show you mine from last year. Here it is. Here it is. So if you guys know that, I put dream, right? So I wanted to focus on my dreams, right? This year, 2019, was really about allowing myself to take those dreams out of the box, right? And really start living them. So how do you do a vision board? There's tons of things, but you just kind of go through magazines, pick up words. Sometimes people pick like a word of the year, which for me this year was dream. But looking at what do I want for 2020, put it on a vision board. This actually sits on top of my computer for my work, because every day I want to be reminded, like, what is my intention? What is the life that I want? Okay. So let's get out of that cruise control. It's easy. It's familiar, but the joy is limited. The joy is limited because we are so stuck in kind of that routine. Trust me, I love routine, but it has been so exciting to see some of those things come true for me. And I want you to have the same thing. So on the third step, the setting your intention, I do a vision board, okay, which you just saw. The other thing is I write down 5 goals that I want to focus on, okay? So like I said, one of this was my book that I focused on, which I do want to say it's actually with the editor right now. So somebody is editing my book, and I hope to have it by spring. So I'm excited about that. But so, like, what is your goal? What is one thing that you really want December 2020, right? What do you want to be looking back and saying, I am proud that I made that change. I am proud that I asked for that promotion. I am proud that I paid off that credit card. I'm proud that I'm working out 3 days a week. Like, what is something that you're going to really focus on 2020? So I pick 5 goals. I put all my goals on my vision board so I can be reminded, because do you know that most people that set New Year's resolutions usually are done by like mid-January. Like, they've quit, they've thrown in the towel. And partly I think is because we don't write it down. We don't set those intentions. So I want you to write it down, set that intention. What are 5 goals that you're gonna work on 2020? remind yourself by making a vision board, okay, so that you see it every day when you're walking into your closet or whatever that is. Set your intentions. And I also pick like a couple of affirmations. Now, what are affirmations? Affirmations are thoughts that you tell yourself, like a statement that helps you when you're having a bad day or when you're losing kind of your direction. Okay, so for me, I'm going to share with you my my new affirmation for next year, for 2020, is going to be, I can do hard things. Okay, that is going to remind me that I was once super scared of putting my story on paper and writing it and calling it a book, because who am I? I'm just literally just Diana, right? And so I allowed that to kind of get in my head for so long, but you know what? I did it, and it wasn't as hard as I thought. So here's the thing. I want to encourage you, like, now I'm going to use that affirmation in 2020 to help myself when I'm having those doubtful days, because we all have them, people. We all have those doubtful days where we have our negative voice telling us, you can't do that. Who do you think you are? Like, you are not going to do that. You know, like, we all have that. So let me rephrase. Let me summarize. 3 things that you can do to make 2020 your year. Number 1 is we're going to take an assessment of this year. What were some things that really helped me? What were some things that worked? What do I need to continue doing in 2020, right? Those are things that led to success or you feeling good. Number 2 is we're going to evaluate the stuff that didn't work. We're going to take a closer look at our obstacles, okay? And then we're going to ask ourselves, like, what is it? What's not working? And what can I do differently next year? We're not going to just continue to do the same thing. For me, remember my weight loss? I couldn't just continue working out with no answers of what's going on with my body, because obviously there was something critical that was happening with my body. So you have to ask for help. You have to get out. You have to take a class. Get out of your own way, okay? There are answers out there. Hire a coach. Okay, number 3 is you want to plan. You want to set that intention. What are 5 things, 5 goals that you really want to focus on for 2020? Make a vision board. Get yourself some affirmations that are really going to help you anchor you to what your goals are, and remind yourself. For me, this vision board, for you guys that are tuning in a little late, this vision board has been my reminder, okay, on days where I was just so down on myself, or maybe I was having a bad day, or maybe those dips, right? Something happened, and I just thought, what's the point, right? We get disappointments or we fail, and we think, I'm going to throw the towel in, right? So we don't want to quit. We don't. We want to keep going. So set yourself that environment to help you, okay? Now, thank you guys. So I want this year, 2020, to be our best year yet, right? I know I'm excited about what's coming up. I have a book. I'm so excited. And I can't wait to show you guys as I go into this last part of it, the journey of actually getting it in my hands. So I will definitely take you through that. But I want you to know that if I can do hard things, so can you, okay?